Good morning and welcome to Crap Grandma Says. I'm on the road this week, so my background is a little different today. Today I want to talk about an article I saw about the operation of things in the Middle East, how things operate amongst the peoples of the Middle East, and its application to here. But first, let me be clear. This is not an indictment of belief in God or a personal relationship with the divine. It's an indictment of religion masquerading as relationship, something far too many people confuse. In a Lancaster Online article comparing Jewish and Muslim communities in Los Angeles with those in the Middle East, specifically Iran, an interviewee noted something striking. After decades in LA's Little Persia, he observed that Muslims and Jews here generally get along really well, and that both groups tend to be less religious than their Middle Eastern counterparts. He said, the less religious Jews and Muslims are, the less antipathy they may have toward each other. In other words, he attributes much of the hostility in the Middle East not to ethnicity or geography, but to religiosity. And he's not wrong. And that should give us here pause, because here in the U.S., we're seeing the same dynamic, but with Christianity. Christianity in America has increasingly become a vehicle for oppression, warmongering, and political dominance. It demands rigid conformity from its followers and aggressively pushes to embed its rules into our laws. Sound familiar? It's starting to look disturbingly like religious political entanglement, the very religious political entanglement that we criticize in the Middle East. If we don't stop the rise of Christian nationalism, we risk turning into exactly what our founders sought to avoid, because they understood two critical truths about religion. One, religion becomes dangerous when it's given political power. And two, a true relationship with God is personal. It's not dictated by institutionalized religion. That's why they built in protections, not to promote religion, but to guard against its domination in the government. They defended the right to believe, and just as importantly, the right not to. But today, just like in the Middle East, we're watching religion try to hijack governance. Christianity is entangling itself with politics in a way that undermines the very freedoms it claims to defend, and it's quite antithetical, by the way, to what Jesus did in the Bible. We ignore that fact at our own peril, because if we don't fight back against this creeping theocracy, we're not headed for a spiritual revival. We're headed for our own version of the Middle East. So there's that.